not done. Okay, there you go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Diane Lupo, and this is Soul Stories. It's always exciting to tune in and hear Roland talk about the purple papers and see them in action. So let's get started with your favorite spiritual medium, ladies and gentlemen, Roland Comtois.
Oh, hey, Diane, thank you very much for hosting, co-hosting, and all the things you do from your neck of the woods. I'm happy to be here tonight to offer all of our viewers, our listeners, an opportunity to ask questions. So this is
Yes.
going to be an interesting night of communication and chit chatting and all kinds of fun things. So welcome everybody and thank you for being here. And before I begin, we'll give people a chance to come in and check in. I know that we are a couple of minutes behind schedule, but we're here and we're happy to be with you tonight. I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful summer day because thank thank God summer's here.
I
Thank God
know.
summer's here, huh, Diane?
It was absolutely gorgeous this week. I wanted to just stay outside all day long. It's so beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. But and it's not like
Cool breeze.
it's not like we've had a torturous winter either. It's just
No, but
I love I
it's
love
we
spring.
get beautiful weather like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a very special edition of Soul Stories tonight where Ask Roland. So if there are things you want to ask, things you want to find out about, simply put it in the stream. Diane is able to see the stream, I think, and she'll be able to.
I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Well, I can see the stream right now. All of a sudden, I must have improved my technical abilities because I can see the
Oh,
stream. I can
wow.
see myself. I can't see you. There you are. I see you now. But I'm excited to be here. So go ahead, put your questions in. Let us have a conversation tonight about the signs and the synchronicities and the spiritual messages that our loved ones present us. So hello to everybody. We have people tuning in. Hi, Joan and Tracy and Staying Strong, Nancy from Woonsocket and Donna. Hello, Donna. Nice to see you again. And Kim in Bristol and all these wonderful people that are tuning in tonight. I'm going to one of the first questions right off the bat. Someone named Tracy is asking about Tom and Tom being with her. And I
Oh,
want to talk about this for some reason. And, often people ask me, are my loved ones with me? And I start to feel a lot of energy, almost instantaneous. And so there's a lot of energy around Tracy who's asking about Tom. So I'm starting to feel something. I'm starting to sense something. And that's generally how it works for me. I mean, as Diane knows, I don't just say things because I say things. I say things because, I'm having a little bit of a feeling, a little bit of something.
absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
are you able to see the questions, Diane, yet?
Not yet. Here we go. I should be. Yes, I have them now, Roland.
Okay, great, great, awesome. So I want to say to Tracy, I'm going to answer this question right now, right off the bat. We want to get right into the Ask Roland right off the bat so that we spend our half hour talking to as many people as we possibly can. Tracy, the thing that I'm feeling the most about Tom is that Tom has been nearby recently, not just in the last 3 months, but in some,
Yeah, here
I
we
think,
go. Yes, I
hello?
have them now, Roland.
Oh, someone's going to lower their machines. Oh boy. Houston, we have a problem.
We have a problem, Roland.
All right. What's new? Hey, hang on, everybody. I can see the questions myself. So if you can't do it, it's fine.
I'll be with you in a second. So,
All right.
Mercury is in retrograde.
Oh, man, you're going to laugh at me.
Mercury is in retrograde.
Now,
I'm going to have to go to my phone because this.
All right, let me just keep going. And when
All
you're
right.
ready, just pipe up and say something. It's perfect.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. So Tracy, Tom, I think has been standing very close by you recently, not out of necessity, I think, just out of a gentle, loving caress. And I think really what I'm like, my gut is telling me that he somehow sends you messages later on in the day, maybe into evening or early night, trying to get some messages through and trying to push you forward. One of the most amazing things about spiritual communication is not just that they want to tell us they're in heaven or somewhere. They want to give us a little bit of a push, a little bit of support, and a little bit of help. So Tracy, That's what I'm feeling. I also have a great sense that when Tom passed, for him, whether you believe this or not, things might have changed quickly for him somehow. So I'm somehow getting an image or feelings of his last several minutes of the things that were changing. So I feel a lot of energy about that. And all I can tell you is that he's somehow passing through this moment of time, trying to relay a little bit of mess right now, right here. Tracy, come on. You already feel him. And now we're going to bring him closer to you by being here in this moment. Thank you for your question. Let's go to the next question. Joan DeMaio asks,
Yeah, that's a
why
great
do our
question.
loved ones wait until they get on the other side to say, I love you or I'm sorry? Oh my God, Joan.
Yeah.
Joan, that's an important question.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is an important question. Wait a minute, before we go anywhere, look at my card. Someone just said Marian. Look what's on the top of the card.
Oh my gosh.
Marian. So don't go anywhere, Liz. So here's what I think about this, Joan. I think sometimes in our lives, there are people who just can't say those things. And they can't say those things because of what they've gone through, because of what they've experienced, because of what they had to deal with in their lives. So I think that sometimes there is an ease in being able to say those words after they've passed. They've also experienced some very unconditional healing in the afterlife, in what I call the healing room. It's a place where there is support and love to help us navigate, get through, work through some of the things we've gone through in life. So I think that's why it happens. Some
And
people can't say it. You know what I mean, Diane?
Roland, you mentioned that in your show Through the Door, when you were ascending to the door, people were on the steps contemplating their lives. Is there like a time period? Like, I know there's no time on the other side, but for us, could they be sitting on the steps for years and years, or is it moments?
Look, I don't think that because, look, you may totally disagree with me, Diane, and you all may totally disagree with me. I don't think we just pop up into some place. I think that we go through a process of healing, healing the regret, healing disappointment,
Hmm.
healing loss and grief, healing things. And one of the things that was most remarkable to me was that I had to stop and sit on the steps. And maybe it's a metaphor, but I had to stop there and sit there and really have a look at the parts of my life that were not filled with love, the parts that were not filled with love. So I think some people stay there and they stay there for a while until they come to some understanding of why the love wasn't there.
And
And
is that
then, well, go ahead, Diane.
is that why sometimes people say, gee, I heard from my mother, but I've never heard from my father. When they come to your events, they keep hearing maybe from the same two or three relatives, and they're waiting for Uncle Charlie, right, to show up.
Well, look, I think that's happening for multiple reasons. One is, I think sometimes when the same person comes through, that person who's receiving the message needs an additional validation or
Mm.
confirmation of what they're hearing or seeing. Or maybe they need to continue to hear from their mother or their father that they did a good job. And until you really own the message completely, body, mind, and soul, then that message may be repeated over and over again. Now, again, I think I'm sorry and I love you. Sometimes those are hard things to say. But when
Right.
we leave the physical, when we ascend into that next place, when we go through that healing room or healing experience, we come to some discovery that those words are not so hard to say. So they say them. Look, Diane, you were in the room once when I said to a woman, oh no, to a son, your father wants to say I love you, but just a little one, not a big one.
I know that sometimes, yeah, sometimes I've heard you relay the message that they won't say the word love, but they'll say, I like you. And I find that so strange to say to your child.
Well, don't you think though, this is a whole philosophical question. I think sometimes it's harder to like people. You know, that liking and loving them are two different experiences, at least in my mind. But then again, we all know about my mind. You know, we all know. So sometimes they say I like you because that's an important thing to hear as well as I love you. So, you know, I guess it's an interesting conversation to have for sure.
But hopefully it will bring some people comfort knowing that they are healed.
Now, look, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got another very interesting thing happening right now.
Ooh,
Again, look at my notes on my card. Derek, Scott, Marian, and Luke. Someone asked about Marian already. Somebody is asking about Scott. I have two purple papers that are pulled out about Scott. How did we know
wow.
this was going to happen? Maybe
Wow.
maybe one of these purple papers is for Scott. Look, this is getting exciting, everybody. Make sure you like the page. Make sure you like the bell to subscribe so you get notices when I'm on or when we are on when we do soul stories. So you know, don't forget to do all those things. And so I want to go right into Marion because I saw that in the stream, Diane, and I want to be able to address it
Absolutely.
because I already have it on my little card here of things I was feeling just before we came online. Marion, let me just say to you, whomever asked the question,
But
Marion is not saying um, it was too much. She's saying it was time. She was saying that it was time. Now that's really hard to hear. That's really hard to hear. So Marion is talking about the time that she spent. Oh, come on. Come on, Liz. She's talking about the time that she spent going through some very challenging moments. And she's not talking about the last second, and she's not talking about the last day. She's talking about a collection of time when things weren't settled, when things weren't easy. That's what she's talking about. And she's talking about the pressure she felt inside, the pressure to stay healthy, the pressure not to give up, even through this difficult physical experience, and she just needed all that love to support her forward. So I feel like that. I feel like she wants to talk about that with you. And I feel like she wants you to hear it and other people to hear it, that as she was approaching April, May, June, July, and August, she knew during those 5 months things were shifting and changing, and then it all changed again for her. So that's how I want to tell you the story. Now, you might say to yourself, it doesn't make sense, Roland. You know what I want to say? Just take it for now. If it doesn't make sense later, then let it all go. Let it all go and let it be what it is. But the fact is, this is how I hear Marian's story right now. Go ahead, Diane.
wow. Michelle would like to know if her mother-in-law is with her son, Christopher.
No, stay with me. So far, you all have seen how the message comes. It's instantaneous, it's there. There's no thinking involved. If I'm thinking, then I'm not channeling. I will say this. The question you present to Diane is, wait a minute, I'm getting distracted by the question, so let me do this. The question you present to Diane is someone around my boy, right?
Right.
But I think the way I feel is that she wouldn't be any other place. That's,
Oh,
like it's like she's having her time with your boy. That's what I feel. I'm very emotional about it. Besides, that that it's as if she's saying, "I'm with him now because I can be with him," and she can be with him very freely without any aches or pains or obstacles or difficulties. Like she just wants to be there with him. And I have to say to you, whoever asked that question, I already forgot, that it's
Michelle.
not, Michelle, it's not just about being there with your boy. It's as if she's um, holding him nourishing him and nurturing him in some way. And that's the best answer I have right at this. I mean, you know, doing these kinds of things are a little stressful because I feel like I'm on the clock and I don't operate
You are on
well.
the clock.
Well, that is true. I mean, I did a
You are on the
radio.
clock.
I
A
did
little pressure. Come on, you can handle it.
Yeah, go. Never mind
You
about
got
my
it. You
story.
got it.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Pam
Go.
wants to know, she's lost two cousins, Joe and Richie, and she wants to know if they're okay. Are they together? Like, what's going on with Joe and
So here's what I'm feeling. The instant feeling is I wonder if one of them left unexpectedly because there's a lot of uh, I don't know, it's chaos or turbulence or difficulty around one of them. Can I hear both their names again, Diane, please?
Joe and Richie.
I feel a little bit more about Richie for some reason. And that's where my vibe is, my feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Richie is trying to be the one saying that he has truly crossed over and that over the next several days or even maybe several weeks, you're going to get some signs from him. But there's something about the message that he or both of them really are no longer in this very tense or chaotic space, and that there's a lot of ease or peace around one of them, or if both of them. But somehow, Richie, I feel an energy about. Let me go to Scott for a minute, because as I'm here with you right now, I feel the presence of someone named Scott. And as I said, I pulled out two papers, two of them that I mentioned this morning. And
that's one of the questions.
Okay, I want to read it to you.
Yeah.
So these two purple papers are dated 7/15/2019 and 9/20/2019. And they both express an apology on some level. So back to Joan's question, when you hear the I'm sorry in the purple paper, you'll begin to understand why in the afterlife it's easier to say certain things. Scott keeps saying I'm sorry, and here's why. I'm sorry about the last year. It may be hard to believe, but it was always hard work. My life, I think, for a long time was hard work. I had some things I was trying to fix up. I had some things I had to fix in my life, but I never really got a chance. I hope you know I love you. That's the first purple paper, right? Why don't you go with me on this journey? Really? Why don't you? Let's do it together. I mean, let's face it, this is a very perfect time for us to be communicating with our loved ones, to connect with them. And the second paper is this. This is the second one. Scott, he said it was an accident. No crying, please. No crying, please. I can't tell you what happened exactly, but maybe I made some wrong. Oh my God, come on. Maybe I made some wrong decisions. I hope you know that I'm really sorry. My apology is not just about the end, it's about everything. And I love you. Could these two purple papers be the same person? Could they be the same person? Hold on. They are the same person. Joey's here. Joey knows Scott.
Ooh.
Joey, who passed young, his birthday was recently. He knows Scott. They're connected somehow.
Wow.
The Scott that I'm talking about is not, it could be someone's husband, but Joey knew Scott. How that will untangle is beyond me. Go on with the next question, Diane.
Oof. Well, Martha, her mom passed from COVID April 19th.
Hold on. Say nothing else. Say nothing else. Martha, are you with me right now? Say yes in the stream so Diane can see it. Are you with me right now, Martha? right here, right now. I need you by my side, and I need to stand
Come
by
on,
your
Martha.
side. Huh?
I'm waiting for her.
Come on, Martha. This is important. I have to talk to you. Maybe she left. Maybe she left. Martha.
Yes, she's here.
So give me the woman's name again, who I'm talking to.
You're talking to Martha
About her mother.
about her mom.
So listen, I want to talk with you, Martha. I want you to realize that it's just you and I in this moment, and everybody else who's participating is sending you love and energy right here, right now. Now, your mother admits that it was a difficult journey, but she wasn't fearful of it. Do you know why? She wants me to take you back to 1972, 1973, and in the 70s of her life. She said in that period of time, she learned how to be strong. Your mother learned how to be strong. And one of the most beautiful gifts she has ever given you is strength. She said she wants me to tell you that no matter how hard you fought for her fighting from the diagnosis, she understood things were going to change dramatically, but she was fearless. I wonder if your mother really was fearless. She's telling me she was fearless. And she's not only telling me in my mind, in my heart, she wants me to tell you that you've been incredibly brave through this, holding the rest of the family together. And last night, she says you were sitting there in your room, leaning against the table or leaning against something and looking at her stuff, maybe a picture, maybe a trinket. This is your moment. Your mother's here. But she's talking about how strong she had always been. And she's lovely. I bet she was a nice mother. I mean, Diane, how many times do we run into people, they don't have nice mothers?
Well, I got yelled at from the other side.
I
So,
mean, but Martha has a nice mother. She's a nice mother. She's gentle and she's genuine. And she shows me how strong she was in her life. And she talks about those years as significant years. Why? I don't know. I just know it. Let's go on, Diane.
I like this question. Jennifer wants to know if her parents have reunited on the other side.
Okay. Jennifer, did they like each other?
I think so, because she said she wants to know if they're dancing their favorite song. But
Well, you know,
I know that's something I always wondered about, because my parents weren't getting along too well near the end. I was, do they rekindle?
Well, I can tell you that when I had my near-death experience, I saw couples that I knew in my life. I saw my family members, and I was kind of surprised because I saw a couple of them that didn't like each other, and somehow they gravitated to each other because, again, if we go back to the initial story of this place of healing, though, I do feel, what's this girl's name? Jennifer, right? Diane?
Yes, Jennifer.
I feel, you know what I feel, Jen? Oh, I want to call you Jen. I'm sorry. Jennifer, what I feel more than anything else is that your father has a big smile with your mother. It's like he found his girl all over again. Oh, it's like he found her all over again, you know? That's how I feel it. And I feel it lovingly. I feel it beautifully even. So maybe they are dancing to their favorite song, but even more extraordinary is this big, glorious smile. Hold on a minute. Carol, your daughter is sitting next to you right now. Carol, your daughter is sitting next to you right here. Wait a minute. Wish I had different music. That ain't gonna work. Hold on. Carol, your daughter's sitting right next to you. She said you've been leaning on her over the last couple of days, worried about so many things. Your daughter is here. And she's lovely too. She's nice. She's a good girl. I'm sorry that you're a mother without your child. I'm sorry about that. Your daughter's here. She said a couple of nights ago you were sitting there having a serious conversation with her about everything, about all the things that you have to take on. So she just wants to be here with you tonight to remind you that you're not alone. That you're not alone. Go ahead, Diane.
I like this question. Melinda wants to know, when you're doing an event, who decides in the spirit world who comes through?
Oh my God, that's a great question.
Yeah, I like that question.
So this is the interesting thing, and I do this with the audiences a lot. On the count of three, I have everyone say, I love you. And at that count of three, every voice is as loud as it possibly can, all saying, I love you at the same time. So it's not like one person is coming through. They're all coming through. And it's not like they're passing through a doorway or a gateway to get through. They exist in that space because you exist in that space. And so when I'm in front of you, and that's one of the best questions, that's a fantastic question. But what's happening is I'm gravitating to all of the energy at once. And wherever I hear the clearest voice or I hear the clearest message is where I go first. Because otherwise I have to work at hearing the messages that are not so clear. So it's the loudest voice, the strongest personality, the most aggressive sometimes, but it's all those voices at once, mixing and mingling at once. And my job is to hear it. So the truth is, what makes that moment happen is you, them, and me, my staff, because they're holding energy for the experience. So Diane sitting there holding the purple papers for us, she's holding energy so that your loved ones can make it through that space as well, or come more clear into that space. So everybody's helping and everybody's making that happen. Great question. Thank you.
Brenda would like to know if her daughter's dad, Harold, is around her daughter or her, if he sees her guidance or if he has any guidance for
Well,
them.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Diane, but you
No,
know how the minute you start talking, I'm already in some space.
I got you.
No, okay. So I know that hear me out. What's the woman's name? Brenda, right?
Yes.
I should be taking notes.
Sorry.
But I can't.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's your job. That's true. Brenda, Harold's message is not about how he passed like Martha's mother. That's not the message. Sorry. The message is something like this is how I hear it. Tell her that things are going to clear up as she and you move forward. So it's something about what everybody's going through right now, unrelated to COVID-19 or pandemics or riots or things like that. It's something else. So you ask a question, the answer isn't about how I died. The answer is, I'm trying to help you move on so that you know I'm standing with you as you move forward. So somehow he's helping her find her way. That's the answer. Oh, wait a minute. October 12, 2020, between now and October 12, 2020, messages will come. And when they come, you're going to know that he is somehow guiding her along. That's how I feel that particular moment. That's how I feel it right now, that's the kind of energy I'm feeling. So that's what I have to say.
Wow. But that's strong. Now, Kim would like to know, and I think this is sweet. Kim wants to know if her dearest, she has my dearest John is around.
Oh.
My
That's very heartfelt. It's such an amazing way to describe someone, isn't it? It's such a beautiful way to describe someone who's passed. But like everything that's happening, I don't get an instant message. So do I think he's around? Sure. Do I know for sure in this moment with some explanation? No, I'm sorry. I don't hear it right now. What's the guy's name again? John? Yeah,
John.
John. I don't know. I don't know, Pam. If I get an answer before we go, I'll tell you. Absolutely, I'll tell you.
Okay, here's a very interesting one. This is from Lexi. If a person was enlightened before death, would channeling still be possible?
What? That's an amazing question. The answer is yes. The answer it's yes because this is that moment when the spirit world or the universe, all those that reside in that space, are communicating their love. Love is an enlightened experience. True and unconditional love is an enlightened experience. And when someone can fully embrace that true and unconditional love, then then a message is able to be delivered without a doubt. Hold on for a second. I just said that true unconditional love is an enlightened experience. That's what I'm saying to you right here, right now. Often people say to me, look, I want to make sure. All right, let me divert. Let me just divert for a second. Not long ago, several years ago, I was sitting by the side of a woman who was dying. And I go out and talk to people when they're dying so they're not so afraid of what's in the afterlife. So that's one of the things I do for people, right? And she said, all I want to do is be able to tell my kids from this day forward and long after I pass that I still love them. And I said to her, do you really love them? What does that mean? And she began to give me this amazing description about what love meant to her. And as she began to tell the story, the love that she felt for her children started to emanate from her. It created this beautiful ripple effect of energy that I began to feel. She said, love is everything. And then she said, love is nothing. And love is strong. And love is weak. Love is power. Love is forgiveness. And love is just love, she says. And what about Khalil Gibran? All he says, love, the only thing love wants to do is love. It wants nothing else. It asks nothing of you. So if an enlightened person is living on this physical plane enlightened and understands and embraces the true meaning of love, then that person can communicate a message of love to someone in need. That's my take on it. Go ahead, Diane. That's a great question.
Yeah, that was a great question. Here's another good one. And I think this question is applicable to many, many people. This is from Stephanie C. I keep getting signs everywhere, but I'm getting tired. I need something, but I'm not sure what it is. I can't stop crying or feeling lost. Every time I think I have it figured out, it isn't.
Here's the one piece of advice I have for you. Stop trying. Spiritual communication is an organic experience. It's natural and it flows. It's normal. It's innate. It's part of us. The ability to share that energy with each other, to get those messages is normal and natural and doesn't require you to try. Let me tell you what trying does. It puts up boundaries in that space of communication. That's the one place where you want to be free to hear and to receive. So here's what I'd say. I say, one, stop trying. Let it be what it is. And sometimes, over the years, people have said to me, oh my God, what does that mean? What does it mean? Who cares? It's there. Just be in it. Own that moment. So the next time you have that feeling, Stephanie, own it. Don't try to figure it out. Just look at it, whatever it is, and say, thanks. I'm glad that you've touched my moment, my life. That's all you have to do for now, right? That's step one. When you accomplish step one, come back and ask us the next question. Because what I want you to do is keep being without trying. Does that sound crazy?
No, in fact, Lisa wrote a comment here that validates that. She said, as she's sitting here on her front step praying for an answer to her question, a red cardinal landed around 10 feet away from her. And she knew.
Okay, there you go. Instead of getting into an argument with yourself, or never mind an argument, get ready, a negotiation.
I used to do that to validate the sign.
I know. A negotiation, instead of going there, take it in, breathe in that moment, be part of that moment. And let me tell you what will happen. You know how I know this? I have 50 years of experience because I'm in training and I'm still in training. What I know is What I know is that if you take that one moment with the cardinal, Lisa, or you take that one moment with that experience, Stephanie, see, the next one will be even more incredible. But you do this in steps. You do it without forcing. You do it by being present. Next question. Thank you. Great questions.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Madison said her sister's dad took his own life.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to know if he is no longer in pain. And there's so much suicide now, Roland. Is there any comfort for those left behind?
Yeah, we should do a show about mediumship, the afterlife, and suicide. We really should do a
I
show
agree.
about that. So put that down and remind me,
I will.
because I mean, look, these two papers from Scott could be about suicide. And I didn't even get, oops, I just lost my camera. Don't worry, I'm still here. I hit a button.
Hello.
This message about Derek, right? I'm showing you right now, is a message I think that may be about someone who passed unexpectedly through that way. So in the years of my channeling, 99.9, if not 100% of the people have said that have passed that way, that they healed the parts that were broken. I mean, I've said it many times to people, and I've said it over and over and over again. Now, again, you heard me say a minute ago that none of us just pop up into the heavens. We all have to heal the parts that are heavy and broken so that we can continue to evolve. I mean, isn't that the same in the life that we live right now? We have to heal on a day-to-day basis so that we can continue to move forward and move on in the right direction. What's this girl's name again, please?
I lost it.
Okay.
I
Um,
lost it. Sorry.
I'm sorry. When you asked the question, Diane, what I had was an instant sense of relief from the person that passed. And that's the best answer I have. But we'll talk about that sometime. We'll dedicate some time for that kind of conversation. Go ahead,
Well,
Diane.
you mentioned you felt that about the Scott papers. Now, Paula is saying Joey's birthday is today and his cousin Scott did commit suicide. So you were right
Wait a minute.
on target there.
Wait a minute. We're over time right now, everybody, so hang on.
I have nowhere to go.
Wait a minute. Gary. Oh, Gary. I'm yelling Gary. Gary, your father's okay. Now, let me show you. Actually, I'm going to take a picture and post it. I want you all to see what I'm looking at right now. I'm going to post it in a minute. I have no access. I'm going to show it to you. I have no access to what you're seeing. This is what I see right now. I don't see my YouTube page. I see nothing. Paula, this message belongs to that family. Somewhere inside of it, Joey's trying to say something that he found Scott or something to that effect. Now, I need to know when Scott passed away to validate it completely. Gary, hear me right here, right now. Your father is with you. Wants to thank you for doing some good stuff for him. And you know what he says? I wish life would have been a little bit easier along the way, but let's not go into the details of it in front of everybody. Just just know that I'm okay. The whole place is changing. Scott, Derek, which I'm going to read, 9/19/2017. Derek never had a chance. I never figured out how to be right. Hear the message. Would you just listen to the message with me? Derek never had a chance. I never figured out how to be right. Oh, that's getting me for some reason. I tried to pace myself, but it was so hard. My last moments were foggy. I don't remember how I passed because I don't. I really wasn't there. No matter what anyone says, I'm even with my grandfather now. You know, Diane, that's what's amazing about these papers. And it's not because of me, it's because you out there and your loved ones out there are communicating a message. They're each specific and purposeful. Nothing is written for the fun of it. Let's take our final question for the night, Diane.
This is a tough one. This is from Denise. My father died tragically, my father William, and I blame myself.
Oh boy.
Wondering if there's anything.
Well, you're talking, Diane, and it's like some guy is yelling in my head, no, no. Oh my God, it's almost like your father is not going to accept that statement. What did you do to him? You did nothing to him. I keep hearing no. Like he's very aggressive with the no. Don't go anywhere right now. Don't leave. You're needed right now. We need you to help Denise and Gary and Martha and all the people that are asking their questions. I hear Denise George. Who's George? That's weird. I don't even know. Denise George. Oh God. I'm a real blast at a party. I can tell you that much. Denise George. I don't know what that means, so I'll write it out. Denise, I hear no. I can't even let Diane finish the statement. I don't know where it goes from there, but that's all I can say. And I can tell you, yeah, I can tell you something. What did you do? I bet $1 million you intended to help. I bet $1 million you intended to stand by. I bet $1 million you did what you could, because he keeps saying no over and over again. Wow. That, I think next time we do Ask Roland, we have to dedicate an hour to it, because
well, I'm seeing more and more suicide, people who died from suicide now in the feed, and or tragic deaths.
Here's what we're going to do about that. We're going to do a special Zoom event, not live. I mean, not live, but not on YouTube. We're going to do it on Zoom, and you will be invited to attend. And we will do it as a community service for free. So you have to be on my mailing list to get that announcement. And Diane and I will talk about it, and we'll put a plan together, and we will do it. And we will do what we can to help you with that. Okay. So we will do that in the near future. Oh man, I guess we could go on and on and on, Diane, couldn't we?
We could. There's a lot of questions. Somebody did mention a George. Madison said her papa, as you would say, Roland, his name was George. He just passed from COVID at the end of May.
Nope, that's not what I was feeling. What I was feeling that George was the last name of someone. So someone, Denise George, I don't know what it means yet, but I'm sure that I'll have to be writing a paper from someone named Mr. George or Mr. DeGeorge or something like this. It's not clear yet, but I'm sure it will come. Wow, that was a whirlwind of time and energy.
God bless you.
We have done a lot. Um, we've done a lot. We've done a lot here. We can only answer as many questions as we can answer in the amount of time. And I know that some of you may be disappointed, and I know that some of you put all your questions in there. I got it. We're doing the best we can. This acts. Oh my God, acts. Oh my God.
Were you from Brooklyn now?
Hey, I'm Italian.
Roland.
Axe Roland. Oh my God. Axe Roland. Axe Roland. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I got the French, the Italian. Anyways,
And the
we're gonna
Brooklyn.
do. Yeah, we're gonna do this once a month. The next time we do it, we'll do it for an hour, so that we have more time to sit with you and really answer your questions. Let me say one other thing. Just I should have said the disclaimer at the beginning. This way of communicating is not my most comfortable experience. It just isn't. I like to be with people. I like to feel the energy in the room. I like to feel it all. But this is
Excuse me,
different.
Roland, but I'm amazed you do what you're doing because it's crazy. And even in the private sessions, you have everybody on screen, but it's just like being at a live event.
I don't know. I don't know. It feels a
I
little
don't know.
different. Hey, I don't know. Ask me. I don't know. Anyways, look.
If you come on screen with a muscle shirt and the next
Oh my God. Look, we thank you for
cigarettes.
yes. We thank you so much for joining us. If you know about the Scott papers or the Derek papers, send us an email or private message me. We'll direct you from there. We thank you for being part of our Soul Story family. And I thank Diane for being an amazing co-host, as always, all these years later. And maybe Diane,
All these years.
maybe someday you'll get a pay. maybe there'll be a check in the mail about it. I don't know. But anyways, I love you.
I just want a facelift.
I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Diane, thank you for everything. And
Thank you.
as always, I say amen, alleluia, namaste, om shanti, and all those beautiful things. And I love you. And thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye, Roland.